Virgo, do not walk. Do not hesitate. Do not pause at the threshold of this message to wonder if it applies to you. Because if your heart just seized in your chest, if your stomach dropped like an elevator with its cables cut, if the name of a specific person just flashed across your mind in neon letters, accompanied by a cold sweat you cannot explain, then this is not a reading. This is an evacuation order. The universe is screaming through this channel right now with a frequency so urgent, so piercing, so absolutely devoid of ambiguity that to ignore it would be spiritual suicide. There is a situationship in your life, not a relationship, not a friendship, not a clearly defined connection with boundaries and titles and mutual respect. A situationship, a limbo, a purgatory dressed up as passion. And that purgatory is not just stagnant, it is radioactive. It is bleeding poison into your energy field with every text message that arrives at 2 a.m., every breadcrumb of affection that keeps you starving, every excuse that sounds plausible only because you have been trained to doubt your own sanity. Virgo, the red flags are not just red. They are crimson. They are arterial. They are waving so violently in the wind of your intuition that the sound should be deafening, and yet you have been standing there, frozen, telling yourself that if you just love them enough, if you just understand them enough, if you just wait a little longer, the flags will turn white. They will not. They never do. And before I drag every single one of these flags into the light and show you exactly how they are draining the life from your bones, if you feel the panic rising, if you feel the recognition burning, if you know with absolute certainty that I am talking about the exact entanglement that has been keeping you awake at night wondering what you did wrong, then stop and anchor. Support this channel by liking this transmission, subscribing, and leaving your energy in the comments below. These messages are emergency flares for the soul, Virgo. They find the exact person standing in the burning building, and your engagement keeps the alarm ringing for every other Virgo who is still asleep inside the smoke. There is more truth coming through, and you need to be awake to receive it. Now, run. I mean it literally, spiritually, energetically, and emotionally. Start moving away from this connection as if the ground beneath it is cracking open, because it is. The situationship you are in is not a safe harbor. It is not a work in progress. It is not a rough diamond that needs your patience to polish. It is a trap, a meticulously designed, spiritually engineered trap that has been calibrated to exploit every single one of your Virgo tendencies, your loyalty, your patience, your belief that if you just analyze the problem thoroughly enough, you will find the logical solution that makes everyone happy. Your willingness to give second, third, and 17th chances because you see the potential in people rather than the reality. Your desire to fix, to heal, to organize the chaos of another person's soul into something that resembles functional love. They know these things about you, Virgo. Not because you told them explicitly, but because they have been studying you. They have been mapping your vulnerabilities with the precision of a cartographer charting enemy territory. And they have been using that map to keep you exactly where you are, suspended, confused, perpetually waiting, and slowly dying in the space between what they promise and what they actually deliver. Let me tell you what I see, because what I see is not a love story. It is a hostage situation. I see you in a room. It might be your bedroom. It might be their car. It might be the liminal space of your phone screen at 3 in the morning, staring at a message that says just enough to keep you hooked, but never enough to nourish you. You are holding your breath. You are waiting, waiting for them to choose you, waiting for them to clarify, waiting for them to finally become the person their best moments hinted they could be. And while you wait, your light is dimming. Not because the world is dark, but because this person is standing in front of your sun and calling it shade. They are consuming your energy like a black hole consumes stars, and they have convinced you that the hunger you feel is just the natural state of love. It is not. What you are experiencing is not love. It is addiction. It is trauma bonding. It is the chemical cocktail of intermittent reinforcement that keeps a rat pressing a lever, hoping that this time, this one time, the pellet will drop. And every once in a while, every third or fourth or ninth time, they give you just enough affection, just enough attention, just enough of the version of themselves that you fell for to keep the addiction alive. That is not romance. That is conditioning. And Virgo, you are too intelligent, too precious, too goddamn powerful to be someone's conditioned rat. The red flags. Let me name them, because naming them is the first step toward burning them. The first flag is the inconsistency that wears a mask of complexity. They are hot, then cold, then hot again, and every time you try to point out the whiplash, they tell you that you are too sensitive, too demanding, too eager to label things. They tell you that love is not a contract, that they are free spirits, that your need for stability is a flaw you need to work on. They make your very reasonable desire for consistency sound like a character defect. That is gaslighting, Virgo. That is not depth. That is not mysteriousness. That is a manipulation tactic designed to keep you off balance so that you are too dizzy to see the exit. And you have been dizzy. You have been nauseous with it. You have been sitting in the center of their chaos, trying to apply logic to a situation that was never meant to be logical. You have been treating their emotional unavailability like a puzzle you can solve if you just find the right piece, the right angle, the right moment to approach them. But they are not a puzzle. They are a trap. And the only winning move is to stop playing. The second red flag is the way they speak about your worth. Not directly, never directly. They are too smart for overt insults. Instead, they use comparison. They mention exes in ways that make you feel like you are in a competition you did not sign up for. They praise other people for traits you do not possess. Then watch your face to see if you will contort yourself into that shape to earn their approval. They make jokes at your expense that cut just deep enough to wound, then laugh and call you dramatic when you flinch. They tell you that you are amazing, that you are special, that they have never met anyone like you, but the timing is off, or they are not ready, or they are still healing from something they never fully explain. And so you wait. You wait in the lobby of their affection like a patient supplicant, hoping that one day the doctor will see you. But the doctor is not healing. The doctor is billing you by the hour of your life, and the treatment is never going to end because the disease is fictional. They are not broken, Virgo. They are performing brokenness because brokenness earns them your labor, your nurturing, your endless, exhausting, one-sided emotional labor. The third red flag is the isolation. Slowly, subtly, like a vine strangling a tree, they have been separating you from your support system. Not with obvious demands, not with ultimatums, but with guilt, with sulking, with making your time with friends and family feel expensive, like every hour you spend away from them is an act of abandonment they will make you pay for later. They question your friendships. They plant seeds of doubt about your family's intentions. They monopolize your free time with crises that are timed with suspicious precision to coincide with your plans. And when you cancel on your people to tend to their latest emergency, they reward you with just enough warmth to make the sacrifice feel worthwhile. Then they withdraw again, and you are left alone, wondering if your friends are still your friends, if your family still understands you, if you have anyone left in your corner except the very person who is cornering you. That is not love. That is captivity with good lighting. The fourth red flag is the future that never arrives. They talk about it. Oh, how they talk about it. The trips you will take, the apartment you will share, the life you will build together once things settle down, once they get their money right, once their ex is fully out of the picture, once their mental health stabilizes, once the stars align and the universe gives them a sign that they are ready. It is always someday. It is always almost. It is always just around a corner that keeps moving further away the closer you get. And you, Virgo, with your beautiful, tragic hope, have been walking toward that corner for miles. Your feet are bleeding. Your throat is dry. And every time you ask how much further, they tell you that your impatience is the problem, that your need for a timeline is controlling, that real love does not need labels or plans or destinations. But, Virgo, real love does not leave you wandering in the desert indefinitely. Real love builds the oasis with you. Real love does not ask you to dehydrate while it decides whether it is thirsty. This situationship is a mirage, and you have been chasing it until your spirit is parched. I am seeing the fifth red flag now, and this one is the most dangerous because it is invisible. It is the energetic cord they have wrapped around your solar plexus. You feel it even when they are not around. A tug, a pull, a sudden inexplicable anxiety that makes you reach for your phone to see if they texted. A sinking feeling in your gut when they post something online that does not include you. A hypervigilance that has you scanning their social media for clues like a detective searching for evidence of a crime. You are not crazy. You are not obsessed. You are tethered. They have created an energetic hook in you through the cycle of abandonment and return, through the deliberate creation of insecurity followed by brief, intense reassurance. Your nervous system is now wired to their unpredictability. You are living in a state of low-grade panic that spikes into terror when they pull away and dissolves into temporary relief when they come back. That is not love. That is trauma. That is your body being used as a tuning fork for their dysfunction, and the sound is destroying your peace. And Virgo, here is what they are hiding. Here is the secret behind the red flags that will make you want to run faster than you have ever run in your life. This person is not confused. They are not conflicted. They are not a wounded bird that needs your gentle hands to heal. They know exactly what they are doing. They have known from the beginning. The situationship is not an accident of timing or a product of their unresolved trauma. It is a choice, a deliberate, calculated choice to keep you available without being accountable, to keep you invested without being committed, to keep you hoping while they continue to sample other options, to keep their ex on a string, to maintain the freedom to come and go as they please while you remain stationed at the gate like a loyal soldier waiting for orders that never come. They are not going to change, Virgo. They are not going to wake up one morning and realize that you are the one. They already know you are the one they can count on to stay, the one they can count on to wait. the one they can count on to accept less than you deserve, because you have been trained to equate suffering with devotion. I see them clearly in my vision. I see who they are when you are not looking. I see the way they speak about you to others. Not with the reverence you deserve, not with the gratitude of someone who knows they are blessed to have your attention, but with a casualness that stings, a dismissiveness that reveals the truth. They tell people that you are cool with the arrangement, that you are not looking for anything serious, that you are just having fun, just vibing, just going with the flow. They erase the tears you have cried. They erase the conversations where you begged for clarity. They erase the nights you spent analyzing their mixed signals until your mind felt like it would fracture. They rewrite you as a character in their story who is satisfied with crumbs, and then they feed you those crumbs while they feast on the banquet of your devotion. And when you try to claim more, when you try to assert your needs, when you try to upgrade from situationship to partnership, they look at you like you are asking for the moon when all you are asking for is the ground beneath your feet. They are lying to you, Virgo, not just with their words, but with their entire presence. The version of themselves they present to you is a hologram, a projection designed to keep you engaged while the real them operates in the shadows. The real them is selfish. The real them is calculating. The real them sees your love not as a gift to be cherished, but as a resource to be managed. They manage your expectations downward. They manage your anger into silence. They manage your hope into a perpetual state of almost, and they do it all with a charm that makes you question your own perceptions. Maybe I am too needy. Maybe I am too intense. Maybe the problem is my Virgo nature, my need for clarity, my inability to just relax and let things be what they are. No, the problem is not your nature. The problem is that you are trying to grow a garden in soil that has been salted. You are trying to build a home on a fault line. You are trying to turn a situationship into a sanctuary. And the architect of that situationship never intended for it to have a foundation. I want to talk about what this is doing to your body, because your body has been keeping score even while your heart has been making excuses. You are exhausted in a way that sleep does not fix. Your immune system is compromised. You are getting sick more often, or you are carrying a baseline of inflammation that no doctor can explain. Your digestion is off. Your skin is reacting. Your hair is thinning. Your anxiety is through the roof. You are either unable to sleep or unable to stay awake, swinging between hyper-arousal and a depression so heavy it feels like you are walking through mud. These are not separate issues, Virgo. These are the physical manifestations of a spirit that is being slowly poisoned by proximity to someone who does not have your best interests at heart. Your body is screaming what your mind has been trying to rationalize away. It is saying, this is not safe, this is not nourishing, this is not love. And every symptom is a red flag waving from the battlefield of your own biology, begging you to retreat before the damage becomes permanent. You have been losing yourself, Virgo, bit by bit, preference by preference, boundary by boundary. You used to know what you wanted. You used to have standards. You used to walk away from ambiguity with the swift certainty of someone who knows their worth. And now you are lingering. Now you are negotiating with emptiness. Now you are accepting terms that would have made your old self laugh in disbelief. You are showing up for someone who is never fully present. You are planning around someone who never commits. You are loving someone who is treating your heart like an option, a backup plan, a convenience store they can enter when they are hungry and ignore when they are full. You have become a supporting character in a movie where you should be the lead. You have been shrinking yourself to fit into a narrative that does not have room for your fullness. And Virgo, the universe is telling you, with every fiber of my being as its channel, that the time for shrinking is over. The time for waiting is over. The time for hoping that the red flags will magically turn into confetti is over. This situationship is a grave, and you are still alive enough to climb out of it. But you have to move. Now. I am seeing what happens when you run, Virgo. I am seeing the moment you decide that enough is enough. It will not be dramatic. It will not be cinematic. You will not throw a glass against a wall or deliver a monologue that makes them fall to their knees in repentance. You will simply stop. You will stop responding to the breadcrumbs. You will stop interpreting their silence as mysterious and start recognizing it as the answer it has always been. You will stop making excuses for their absence and start celebrating your own presence. You will stop waiting for them to choose you and choose yourself instead. And the moment you make that choice, the moment you turn your back on the situationship and start walking, then running, then sprinting toward your own life, the universe will open doors you did not know existed. Opportunities will rush in to fill the space they vacated. Friendships will rekindle. Your body will begin to heal. Your mind will clear. Your energy will return with a force that shocks you. And you will look back at this situationship not with longing, but with the horrified clarity of someone who just escaped a burning building and cannot believe they ever called it home. They are going to chase you when you run, Virgo. Not because they love you, but because they hate losing their supply. They will sense the moment you detach, and they will panic. They will send the perfect text. They will show up at your door with flowers or tears or promises that sound so sincere they could melt stone. They will suddenly be ready, suddenly be clear, suddenly be everything you ever asked them to be. And this is the most dangerous moment. This is the moment where most people turn around, they see the promise, and they think, finally. They think the running worked. They think the threat of loss has transformed the person into the partner they always wanted. But it is a trick. It is the final red flag, the one that waves only when you are already halfway out the door. If you turn back, if you accept the sudden transformation, if you let them back in, the cycle will restart within weeks. The inconsistency will return. The ambiguity will resurface. The future will recede again because they did not change. They just upped the dosage to keep you addicted. Do not turn around, Virgo. Not for the flowers. Not for the tears. Not for the promises that arrive 2 years too late. Keep running. Run until their voice is a whisper. Run until your heartbeat drowns out the memory of their name. Run until you are so far into your own light that their darkness cannot even cast a shadow on you. I want to tell you about the person who is waiting for you on the other side of this run, Virgo. Because there is someone, not them, someone new, someone who does not require you to decode their affection, someone who shows up consistently, not because you demanded it, but because they cannot imagine doing otherwise. Someone who looks at your Virgo need for clarity and does not call it controlling. They call it refreshing. They call it safe. They call it the very thing they have been searching for. Someone who builds the future with you instead of holding it hostage. Someone who does not make you wonder where you stand because they plant your feet on solid ground and build a home around you. That person exists. They are real. They are moving toward you even now. But They cannot reach you while you are tangled in the situationship. They cannot find you while your energy is tied up in knots. You have to clear the space. You have to burn the dead wood. You have to run from the red flags so fast that the wind of your departure extinguishes every false flame they ever lit in your heart. And Virgo, the karma is real. The universe does not permit this level of manipulation to go unanswered. The person who built this situationship on your back is already experiencing the consequences, even if you cannot see them. Their other options are drying up. Their charm is cracking. The mask they wear is slipping in front of people who matter to them. They are being exposed, slowly but inevitably, as the emotional tourist they are. They will try to replicate this dynamic with someone else and find that the supply has run out, that people are waking up, that the tricks that worked on you are no longer effective in a world that is collectively raising its standards. They will end up alone, or worse, they will end up in a cycle of their own making, trapped in situationships with people who treat them exactly as they treated you, and you will not need to witness it to know it is true. You will simply be too busy living your life to care. Your intuition has been trying to save you from day one, Virgo. Those moments of doubt, those sleepless nights, that nagging feeling that something was off even when everything seemed perfect. That was not anxiety. That was your spirit recognizing a predator in the costume of a lover. That was your soul saying, "This is not our home." That was your higher self waving the red flags before your eyes could see them, because your heart was too busy hoping to pay attention. But you are paying attention now. You are awake. You are reading these words with a clarity that feels like cold water on a burn. And that clarity is your ticket out. That clarity is the fuel for your run. That clarity is the weapon that will cut every cord they have wrapped around your energy field. So run, Virgo. Run like the building is on fire, because it is. Run like the wolves are at your heels, because they are. Run like your life depends on it, because it does. Not your physical life, perhaps, but the life you are meant to live. The full, luminous, uncompromised life that waits for you beyond the borders of this situationship. Run toward your work. Run toward your friends. Run toward your family. Run toward the mirror where you will finally recognize yourself again. Run toward the bed where you will sleep through the night without checking your phone. Run toward the morning where you will wake up and your first thought will not be of them. Run toward the version of yourself who never would have accepted this treatment in the first place, and apologize to her for letting her down, and promise her that you are bringing her back. You are bringing her home. The red flags were never decorations, Virgo. They were warnings. They were lifelines thrown down by your own intuition, begging you to climb out before the flood rose any higher. And now the water is at your chin. Now the air is running out. Now the choice is not whether to leave, but whether to survive. Choose survival. Choose yourself. Choose the run that feels like flight, but is actually the first step toward landing exactly where you are meant to be. The situationship is a chapter, not the book. It is a detour, not the destination. It is a lesson, not a life sentence, and the lesson is over. Class is dismissed, the bell has rung, and the exit is right in front of you. All you have to do is move your feet. Do not look back to see if they are watching you leave. Do not look back to see if they are chasing. Do not look back to see if the red flags have turned white in your absence. They have not. They never will. The only thing that changes when you run is your proximity to the danger. And every step you take is a step back into your power. Every mile you put between yourself and this situationship is a mile reclaimed for your own soul. Every breath you take in freedom is a breath that nourishes instead of suffocates. You are not running away from love, Virgo. You are running toward it, the real kind, the kind that does not hide behind red flags, the kind that does not require a decoder ring, the kind that meets you at the door with keys in hand, ready to build something that does not need to be escaped. If this message reached you like a hand pulling you from the edge of a cliff, if you felt the urgency of this evacuation vibrating through every cell of your being, then claim your freedom right now. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, leave a comment below declaring that you are running and you are not looking back. Put it into the world. Make it real. Let the universe know that Virgo has left the building, that the situationship is over, that the red flags have been seen and will no longer be ignored. Your voice matters. Your declaration matters. Your run matters. And there are other Virgos still trapped in the smoke who need to see you go so that they know the exit exists. Be the example. Be the escape. Be the living proof that a situationship is not a life sentence, and that the only direction worth moving when surrounded by red flags is away, fast, now, without hesitation. Run, Virgo. Run like your soul is on fire, because it is. Run like the future is calling your name, because it is. Run like the love you deserve is waiting at the finish line with open arms and a heart that does not play games. Run because you are worth more than crumbs, more than almost, more than someday, more than the hollow shell of a connection that was never built to last. Run because the red flags are not going anywhere, but you are. And where you are going, Virgo, there is only green light. There is only open road. There is only the breathtaking, terrifying, exhilarating freedom of being fully, finally, irrevocably yours. If this reading was the alarm clock you needed, the push you were waiting for, the permission you did not know you required to save yourself, then sound the alarm for others. Like this transmission, subscribe for more, leave your mark in the comments, and let the world know that Virgo is done with situationships and done with red flags. There is more clarity coming your way, more truth, more liberation. But first, the run. First, the leaving. First, the brave, brutal, beautiful act of choosing yourself over the lie. You have always known the way out. Now take it, move, go. And do not stop until the only flags you see are white, waving in the distance, marking the border of a land where you are safe, seen, and finally free.